Yankwa Humanisonian, Honorable Member of Parliament for Busa South, Indian Como, Honorable Clement Apaak, Ewa Humaniso. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, Sammy.
Na anope eno mo design.
Oh, nyame adom ya ho yer. Kromo na ahye. Ba nyame aroma yati ase die. Ya de asida bema no.
Yeah, there are say yenin komo emfa annual State of the Nation address by His Excellency the President. Mimbisa address no bacho, how would you describe it?
Yo me da say. First of all, no. Let me put on record, say enra man ko parliament.
Okay.
Aji me share with you.
I didn't know one call.
Okay.
I didn't know one call because there was prior notice on my penny about the State of the Nation address.
Now, going to parliament, you know, and you're compulsory.
My bro,
as long as I've not broken the rules in terms of the number of days one can absent him or herself.
Okay.
So it is a matter of choice. I didn't feel that I should go sit there and listen to the president because I didn't expect him to say anything new. And lo and behold, he didn't really address the issues confronting the country. So that was why I didn't go. Because I had very low expectations, and I was proven right.
Issues better now we expect to say or better touch it on that would have made the presentation different from the usual expected ones, you know.
Yeah, I mean, State of the Nation. Idea I'm rapping next year. Say man penin bia no. Afi bia hyaase no. E wo say utumi ene wo manfo obegyina nkrofo mo yi omo say wo mu ndigi mo anim na waka ne kwa bia wo ho a ekoso e wo man num. So aka de no man penin eye na nyoma ne bebre aye nyina ye nim say e ha adwen Ghana for a soon. One can want some. This is out here, almost a year. Chairman, sir, a Canadian, a bar, Honorable Haruna Drusu Sono. Honorable Haruna Drusu, a catcher man penisa. When you could grow, and Cassa, Yesika, a Hunsem, and here, she the economy. And that is why the issue is. Yeah? If it's a man by every year, February, this year, March ending, and he couldn't speak about the economy. What did he for GDP home? What did he for national debt stock home? What did he for borrowing home? And then I want to make because of him. And that is why Ghanaians are concerned. Because the true state of the nation is not what the president presented. Yeah, let's take only the educational sector as an example.
Yeah.
And that is my area.
Yeah.
Also, President Kasano, he was largely focused on what he intends to do. By and large, still making promises. And I know many of them are recycled. For example, Tibet education. Ansana Yaba 2020 Aba. And this year the share manifesto must say we were going to make Tibet education a part of the free national school program and then make it free. We are even going to extend the net to bring about a program that will bring in young men and women who are not in the formal school system. At that time, said Tibet was already part of the free national school policy being implemented. And so the catcher and so I'm saying now the Tibet back and one man free. Are you being truthful and honest? Second, Wasatu can say obesi or the saying STEM schools across 16 regions of the country.
Yeah.
When you any idea ever flow, I idea or that our marker, and I also repeat it. But you see, in Kayo Bia, or person or kind of correction Ghana for additional one. In first now, Bebo, every year at your chair for any instance, summer, Abada Mosua, additional the chair, and cost to 13. So, Bakaya and Chair Diana Utah for a cost strike, ting. And pending for Apaak parliamentary subcommittee, Apaak, and a Utah Casa, one massa aquatradia. Now, Omone, Oman penny for Ombeding Kakahon, now, dear, almost Ramunya, Omoko, Strikano, the amount. Don't you think that the president should have made some comments about this to reassure Utah, any Ghanaians? Sir, Obedi Juma and my university teachers, I may, sir, the Omoko now say again, Piniano, Sam Bemoa, Ombasako strike on Kenito Tlipa, Ekabi, a found. He didn't say that. A bio-finance minister, now we have the cancer. Abai is thinking about weaning off public tertiary institutions from the public payroll. This is a very major policy proposal that is being made. Anka, what's a president? It me a kabi be found. Nanka, Ebia, Yenumobia, Yegidi says, Yanisa, universities, no, what's a Omopo Mustika, no military lectures, any non teaching staff, no. Banasa, fish, no, ever costro. Ama, Omo Nibie, Omo Pring Prase. The poor and the vulnerable and the marginalized, they will find it very difficult to access tertiary education. Nanka waka che, just how we are with the bano. Say, Nanka obeye. Amma, Omoa, a banasa, woman to me and your fees, no. Womonso, a bit to me, enya, emwa. Now, woman to me, aqua tertiary institutions. Wankashi and Fahon. Free Junior High School. The Oboyana no born it. Some who can say Free Junior High School program no omode buffer stock suppliers cut over 300 million Ghana cedis. Enunti e diana won sem abaya sem na enkwara ni bi etimi ekọ demonstration. Sa e diana ya ma omo no. It be expired food items. A big videos. They have the Diana Momono. Be the garage jollof. And no movie. A bit so as a Diana Mudino. One type of meal 3 times a day. Cocoa, gari. Unka say. And a books and pie was as part of the program. I was saying, Karabia senior high school. What to mean your book, context book, Bako, Minuka say, Yajantia, research has been done by Pierre Kunomo and the African Education Watch, and I mean so meaning, sir, and Korano Dudwana, and they use 1 textbook to 3 students, sometimes 4 students. One can hear fire no. And you know, sir, Usha address now mine now. Now and the year can say basic schools 3 years. Woman need textbooks. Mampeni and me account say so bet me I'm Ghana for a wolf for na church for who said textbooks, you know. Ebebanne and I say Ebebachina. Some basic schools air convocation on the 7th of Bosumia by April. Now I say head teachers, you know. Women organizing tests and exams. And so 4 tranches. Capitation grant I was to touch chalk. Any markers. Any registers. Enyendu schools, All of these are very important issues. This is the state, the true state of the nation. As I'm summarizing it in the educational sector. As on Carl what's in terms of what he is going to do to address them.
All right. Now, Bisa, two questions. Now, one has to do with the minute details you are asking for that the president should have touched on. Should the State of the Nation address necessarily drill deep to bring out all these items you're talking about?
Not necessarily, but he could have summarized all of these issues. Because when you say education consumes the biggest budgetary allocation, I mean, almost throughout the history of the Republic. This 2022 budget year, education took 17.3 billion. And and so for a sector that takes the biggest chunk of your national budget, I was to be providing a lot more ink in that area, especially so because in said, "Omano you better power." Now, this year, say the community from basic to secondary to tertiary.
All right. Now, my final question has to do with the issue you raised about UTAG. You were expecting that His Excellency the President would have touched on UTAG. Say, ABSCC, maybe I'll be doing the aspect in negotiations, But would it have been right to say, issue are negotiations in the Egusua Air Coswono, or my penny ever become was a wabra, Yenya and Fapim?
It is my point is that as a man penino, you have a responsibility. Sir, who bet me Asha Nipa in crying. You should be able to give hope and give assurances. Do you know, sir, the whole time you tax track, by both are the saying, I feel a claim money, I feel. His Excellency the President, Gombiera, no one can want that. Are you aware that one of the reasons why the UTAC people also felt that they were not being taken seriously is that the President's posture was not reassuring to them. And so this would have been a perfect opportunity to reassure them and to recommit that their Omone team of negotiators, Ajepiniano, you as the Commander-in-Chief, as the President, who takes education very seriously, you would ensure that those assurances are given effect. But notice that in his whole speech, there was no reference to tertiary education, let alone universities. And that is the point I am making. His focus was slightly on the free senior high school, rightly so. What of basic education, which is suffering? What of tertiary education, which is suffering? What of even the challenges bedeviling the free senior high school policy?
All right, Doc, before I began the conversation, you made the point, I think for viewers and listeners to the show, they know that this show is all about the facts. You made the case, Oman Penny has not commented on the UTAC, any government in Sensemno or Kan. But that is not the case because His Excellency the President has spoken on matters to do with UTAC. And this was in February 28th, 2020. Also, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has reaffirmed the commitment of government to bring to an end the strike action that is undertaken by the University Teachers Association of Ghana. Speaking at the National Labour Conference on Monday, 28th of February 2022 at Kwawu and Kwatia in the Eastern Region, President Akufo-Addo, once addressing his appreciation for the relative peace prevailing on the industrial front, stated that more needs to be done to strengthen the rapport between tripartite partners for greater cooperation. If you don't mind, I may quote for you, but if you are satisfied, we may proceed.
Okay, so he mentioned it. So I admit that he did. But that should not have barred him from mentioning it again, since he was now addressing the nation in front of the representatives of the people. So yes, he mentioned it. But even what you have read, for me, is not sufficient. And if you ask members of UTAC, clearly the president's posture during the strike, I know as an ex-official member of UTAC, was a matter of discussion on many of our platforms.
Well, I don't know that information, but what I know is that UTAC had expressed concerns about the caliber of individuals when we ascended to meetings when we UTAC for deliberations. He said, for want of a better word, small boys near small, and the Minister of Finance himself, who is at the center of all this, was not there. And so, as for that of the president, I haven't heard it anywhere before.
Well, you can Google and look at some of the writings of my former colleague, Professor Jampo, where, you know, he wrote, and I remember reading him, that the president's intervention would have also been very helpful.
All right. That's fine.
And, you know, but we can let that pass. That does not still defeat the substance of my argument. Is that when you have these kinds of issues, national issues, which are yet to be resolved, so Unya, the platform that His Excellency is privileged to have, to use that to address them. Because that is the true state of the nation. The issue with UTAC has not been settled. It is still in abeyance.
All right. Doc, and I pay do say Ojembe na di enkomo our happy morning show. So that's it, Dr. Clement Apaak. Yo, Doc. But I was here didn't come on.
I
was here didn't come because you share it. I was all banning come. Member of Parliament for Busa South and Indian Commander Dr. Clement Apaak na and pay Yajina FR State of the Nation address by His Excellency the President.